South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster issuing an executive order at a briefing this afternoon saying anyone coming from a high-risk area of COVID-19 spread needs to self-quarantine for 14 days before going out into the community. And the governor was joined by South Carolina Senators Tim Scott and Lindsey-Graham this afternoon at that press briefing. Fox Carolina's Matt Kaufax has more on the state's response to COVID-19.
Governor specifically mentioned certain regions and places considered high risk, including New York City and the entire tri-state area, as well as New Orleans. These additional measures coming as the United States has morphed into the new epicenter for the coronavirus. Governor Henry McMaster says they're not taking any chances with anyone coming back into the state.
We know that there are hot spots around the country. They've been identified, some very clearly, others are being identified now.
The executive order states you need to self-quarantine after visiting another part of the country that is high risk.
There's a criminal penalty attached for failure to comply with that executive order.
South Carolina now has more than 600 cases and 13 deaths, 4 more today. Back from Washington and fresh off President Trump signing an emergency stimulus, Senator Lindsey-Graham talked about what that means for you.
Everybody in South Carolina who makes under $75,000 a year will be getting $1,200 as an individual, $2,400 as a couple, $500 per child. If you're on Social Security and you haven't paid income taxes, you get a check. If you're on disability and you don't pay income taxes, you get a check.
He says the money will be coming in a few weeks, but warned it's going to get worse before it gets better and that the economy would be on lockdown for some time.
We'll reopen it based on sound science. The worst thing possible is to try to create a bump in the economy that leads to a spike in the virus.
Senator Tim Scott closed out by highlighting some good news, praising schools across the state for providing meals to families in need.
I can't tell you the number of single mothers who've talked about how their conscience and their burden has been relieved and lifted.
Governor McMaster has repeatedly said he will not issue a statewide stay-at-home mandate unless, quote, absolutely necessary. In the studio tonight, Matt Kaufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.